Hi, welcome to ATYN Hotel, accommodating to your needs. So for the introduction, we will present the management team, the background, the positioning strategy, and the pricing strategy. The management team, we have Melanie, Joanne, Sarah, myself, Joya, and Alexandra.
ATYN Hotel is a 4-star hotel located on the waterfront. It's a high luxurious and charming hotel which has 250 rooms, 200 standard and 50 premium. It has a restaurant and a bar lounge with music and entertainment, small pool, concierge, and many other facilities. Our target market was transient premium and bar standard. We also aim to encourage repeat customers through our loyalty programs. We wanted to encourage non-residents to come to our hotel as we wanted ATYN to be a cool place to be. We looked at the channel demand percentage table and we saw that there was a high demand on direct and GDS. We took this into account, also thinking that GDS and OTA had higher costs than direct channels. We did not take any wholesalers as we believed it was too expensive.
So our strategy was to appear as a high-quality hotel. Then we decided to apply a scheme strategy, even if we didn't achieve to keep it for the entire year. Moreover, we decided to apply lower price during the weekend as the customers were more price sensitive.
We will now look at our performance review, talking about the summary of the year, our quarterly reports, and our RFPs. Our goals for this year were the following. We were to have an above fair market room share, which we failed as we only reached 8.84% of the market share. Secondly, an expected ROE of 8%, which we also failed as we only had 6.78%. But we managed to have a GOP in excess of 43.97%, as you can see on the graph below, which reached a goal of over 25%. Another of our goals was to have an ADR index equal to or higher than our competitive set. Below, on the graph, you can see our performance over the past year. As you can see, we started off with high prices, which resulted in a very high ADR index. However, this index decreased over the following months as we were trying to adjust our prices based on our offering, and furthermore, we perceived the competition as unstable and difficult to understand. This led us to abandoning our skimming strategy to adapt to a matching strategy. In June, as the high season was approaching, we decided to increase our prices. This resulted in a high ADR index. However, as we were the only ones to increase our prices, it resulted in a drastic low of our occupancy and RevPAR index. In autumn and October, we decided to decrease our prices, which led to a stabilization of our ADR index. So overall, we can say that we achieved the goal to have an ADR equal to or higher than our competitive set. However, this resulted in an occupancy index which was relatively low and a RevPAR index which was also below the market index. Now to the quarterly reports. Looking at quarter 1, we can see that our rooms revenue was accounting of 92.21% of our total revenue. Our net profit was quite low, which could be explained by two reasons. First, we had a low occupancy rate, only 44.74%, which might be due to the fact that our prices were too high in comparison to our offering. Furthermore, we were still trying to adjust to the competition, which can be seen through our changing prices, notably in the packages. The second reason for our low net profit could be those high prices. Indeed, we started off January with an ADR index of 1.11 and a quarterly average of 1.07. This was also reflected in our high net ADR. Looking at quarter 2, we can see that it was more successful. Our net profit increased by 88%. One of those reasons could be the lower cost as seen in the summary report. The other one could be an increase in occupancy of 31% in comparison to the previous quarter. The number of rooms we sold increased by 3,000, mainly due to an increasing demand and guests being displaced by RFPs. We saw the number of packages we sold triple, and the number of premium rooms sold also increased. Finally, our net ADR also increased, probably due to our increase in prices during June.
So in quarter 3, we can see that our net profits increased, but not as much as in quarter 2. This increase could be explained by our increase of net ADR following the overall increase in prices that we have done for the high season of $30. We can also see that our occupancy rate increased, but not a lot, even if it was the high season. This low occupancy rate could be explained by the fact that our premium and bar standard segments only increased respectively by 8 and 4%. And additionally, we have lost 9% of package segments because our package prices were extremely high. And it was in complete contradiction with our overall reputation performance that dropped by almost 25%. So this pricing mistake could have been the reason why we have lost so many customers. In quarter 4, we can see that our net profit decreased by 48%, and this decrease could have been predictable because it was the end of the high season. But we suffer from a too huge decrease in our premium and bar standard segment with respectively 16 and 14%. And this is certainly due to the fact that our prices stay in the highest one, although our room satisfaction keep on decreasing over the entire quarter. So considering the request for proposal, our main strategy was to refuse them for the entire year. Firstly, because in July it was the high season, so it didn't make sense to have groups. And for the rest of the year, what we want to do is to appear as a very high quality hotel with high prices. So we didn't want the group. And because we also know that it could create conflicts with the transient who are our main target markets, so we refused them. But regarding a low occupancy rate, it was maybe not the best idea that we had. We will expose you our analysis and findings about our performance over the year. So the two occupancy curves are following the same shape, even if the weekday occupancy is better. We can mention, of course, this huge drop occurring in June. It is due to the fact that we are the first and only one applying higher prices, thinking it was the beginning of the high season, but unfortunately the third quarter started in July. We can also see at the end of the year that our weekend occupancy decreased much more than our weekday occupancy, and it is due to the fact that we have lost a lot of package and bar standard at this time.
Looking at the market share for our different market segments, they are represented in the graph below, and at the top you can see our top 3 segments for each quarter. You can see that we managed to have the premium segment, one of the segments we were targeting, in our top 3 for all quarters with an above fair market share, except for quarter 1. We believe that this might be due to too high unjustified prices at that time. We also believe that this is the reason why we didn't manage to attract bar standards, although they were one of our targets.
In regards to distribution channels, we first aimed at getting the most bookings through direct channels, as OTA GDS were a bit more expensive. We based our assumptions on the channel demand and transaction cost table, where we could see the different types of demands for each channel. We made a mistake in the sense that we did not work properly with the marketing and pricing department, so there was a gap. We completely cut out wholesalers, and this is why we got messages such as, "When did you open? We don't hear much about you in our circles." We wanted to avoid rate parity, so we applied different prices to different channels. However, as the direct prices were much more expensive than others, that was a big mistake. In December of year 1, we understood the importance of collaborating with the pricing and the marketing department, as well as dividing the market share more efficiently. We did focus on direct, however, we did not underestimate the importance of GDS and OTAs. We always considered the costs of these two, however. As you can see on the table below, we took the advantage of using rate reduction and rate increase. For rate reduction, it was possible as we had an occupancy below 55. However, we could not take full advantage as we knew that the occupancy would unfortunately not be above 85%.
Our hotel is aiming for high rates, therefore we have to justify them with the facilities and services provided. We made sure that at the beginning of the year we focus on increasing the customer satisfaction, especially for the business guests, which are part of the premium and bar standard. Implementing express check-in and check-out. Building a lobby bar implied to attract external guests and bringing a social aspect to the hotel, which can be our unique selling point. Music and entertainment service contributes to our desire of making the hotel have a fun and cool spirit. Our reputation was still staying low after 2 months and did not reflect our high prices. Therefore, we decided to go an extra mile and implement more expensive services such as concierge, which is a reflection of high standards within the hotel. We try to ensure that our refurbishments stay as high as possible in order to reflect the good standards and the high prices of our hotel. Our team was aiming to provide top results in reputation management before the high season during the summer, not to disturb the guests and affect our occupancy. You can therefore see a great increase in reputation as of the month of May. During the summer, our reputation dropped significantly in most areas, since we did not want to disturb our guests. But as of August, we began to do any last major cleanups as well as soft goods redo. We attempted to bring our reputation back up, as well as spend all the money we have before the end of the year. Unfortunately, we did not have enough finances to improve our rooms and restaurant average reputation.
So for marketing, we invested in the 4 marketing services you can see throughout the year. At the beginning, we didn't want to invest in a loyalty program. However, in March, we implemented one to encourage repeat customers. This would be more aligned with our strategy. We also invested in a public relation agency to help manage our image and the message ATYN wants to convey to the public. We stopped the public relation agency in June as we felt confident of our public image and rather invest more in the advertisements. Advertisement, we focus on direct, GDS, and OTS, excluding wholesales. We also stayed within the guidelines of 3 to 6% of the room revenue. For Q1, we didn't invest a lot as we didn't improve the rooms yet. In Q2, we worked closely with the channel management, adopted a more aggressive strategy, and this was noticed by the positive comments. In Q3, we worked closely with pricing, channel management by looking at the market share and taking corrective action if the market share was less than 10%, either by increasing the marketing or decreasing the price, or a combination of both. We should have done this from the beginning. In Q4, we adopted the same strategy as Q3, and we also removed the advertisement for groups. We had negative comments due to this, but it is not a bad thing for us as we weren't targeting them. So now let's see the recommendation on short and long run. In the short term, we would recommend accepting RFPs in low season, keep the matching strategy, and also focus on refurbishment with low reputation, such as the restaurant and rooms. Optimally, also find investors, so we don't only do a soft goods redo or contract cleaning for the room, but we implement a renovation. On the long term, we suggest re-implementing a skimming strategy, especially once the renovations are done. We suggest also implementing a floating rate, stop decreasing prices arbitrarily, and choose a percentage discount on the bar. We also want to improve direct booking on the long term by offering something extra with a low variable cost and a high added value for the customers, for instance.